It was the middle of January. I had just left my job as a valet runner and it was beginning to snow. As I made my way down the street, I passed this old guy that was sitting with his back pressed against the glass of a bus stop, taking slow drags off a long Maverick cigarette that had been battered at the bottom of his pocket. Smoke seeped from his nostrils like clouds of poisonous cyanide. His hair was a matted mess that would best any comb. He sat there, humming a tune they no longer play on the radio. His black leathery skin was scuffed up. Rain soaked a pool taught to dry over his bony skull like animal flesh of a hollowed out tree trunks to make congos, raising wrinkles on his pruny fingers, tightly pincing the fiberglass tip of his cancer. He threw it down on the ground that was littered with bits of paper bags and shards of Snapple bottles and urine and stamped it out with boots that had been worn thousands of miles past relevance. Then he looked up at me with droopy eyes and said with words soaked in last night's vodka and this morning's experience, "Hey, nephew, hey! You got some change I can hold so I can catch this next bus?" And I contemplated his request for the coins that I most certainly had at the bottom of my pocket, and how hard I worked to get them there, and how desperately I needed them. See, he thought I was somebody who was much better off than he was, and I wasn't. He didn't know I was on my way home from work, home from running back and forth for 16 hours in the muddy snow with a bad back and sore ankles and ice frozen to my mustache, and all I wanted to do was keep my little chain safe until I got it home. See, home for me was my car. It was a 1990 Crown Vic. I called the mothership because of how she floated whenever I put gas in her. And this little change was going to sponsor some kind of change in my life. Granted, those crushed red velvet seats leaned all the way back to make a comfortable bed. But I got tired of sleeping outside, especially on nights with the temperature dropped lower than little girls trying to play grown-up. See, this wasn't life worth living for me. I needed a change that you won't get just sitting and waiting, a change that you won't get with your hands pushed out begging, a change that you won't get with your fingers clasped simply praying. Everybody knows that faith without works is dead. And I have faith in myself that I would not die. See, you have to affect change, not just be affected by change and be what got changed. You gotta dig in and persevere. The question is not if the tree will fall, if the mountain will wear away, but how long will it stand unmoved? Rock solid, deeply rooted, suited for the battle with the elemental whipping winds and rusting rains, blazing sun and unruly earth for change. I knew I had to work and work damn hard if I didn't want to be stuck, sleep in that car with 2 shirts, 3 jackets, 4 pair of pants, and a pocket full of tip money. And here, this old vagabond had the sure audacity to ask me for my hard-earned salvation. So I looked him right in his eye, and I put a few bills in his hand, because realistically, who was I to judge him? Who was I to say that he had not tried with everything that he had and ended up sitting here on this bus stop waiting to be picked up by change? And I suppose I was driving that bus for him. And he jumped up and hobbled off to his next drink, and I was happy for the example of what I'd never wanted to be, just sitting and waiting for change to find me.